Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is a classic rum raisin video. I hate using the whole Gen X thing, but I'm an old fart, so back in the 80s in the UK, rum raisin was a huge flavour. It's really gone downhill as far as popularity is concerned, but let's look at a little bit the history of it, and then we're just going to get on and make it. So stick around if you want to see how to make the 80s favourite rum raisin ice cream. We went to Longleat. It's a safari park slash kind of, I don't know, what would you describe it as? Adventure park? Yeah, something like that. Something for the whole family to go to in Wiltshire in the UK. It's a lovely place. They have the Festival of Lights at Christmas, so we went there to see that. I'll put some pictures up here, and as you can see, this was Roald Dahl inspired this year, so it was really, really enjoyable. And whilst there, we went into the shop which sold loads of chocolates and sweets and all stuff like that, and I saw rum raisin fudge. I'll open this. Noise. Like I said, rum raisin, actually it's a Sicilian recipe originally. It was called Malaga, I think, back then, but they didn't use rum to soak the raisins in. They used, you know, probably some kind of wine or something like that, fortified wine maybe. And it came over to the rest of Europe during the 1900s and then eventually hit the US in the 80s. So, you know, USA had it really, really late in its time. In the 80s, I was stuffing my face with rum raisin ice cream. But back then, I remember it being kind of strange. As a kid, you're eating something with rum in the title. Obviously, there wasn't rum in it back then. It was rum flavouring. So since the 80s, it's disappeared off the shelves, really, in England. It's become a bit more of a classic flavour the last 5 or 10 years. People are starting to get a bit of a resurgence for it, and now, as an adult, I can have as much rum as I want. And raisins, it's good fudge. Raisins are actually really good in ice cream because if you're using alcohol, you can soak them in that, so you get these real pockets of it. But let's just dive in. I'll show you how we make it. To start your classic rum raisin ice cream, you're going to take your raisins and your favourite rum. It could be any rum you like, just needs to be quite a strong flavour. You're going to put your rum in a pan and then slowly start to warm that up, where you're going to add in your raisins. You're going to let them simmer for at least 5 to 10 minutes, because what you're trying to do is open the pores of the raisins and allow that rum to permeate inside. You can let them sit there for half an hour if you want, and then take them out of the pan, put them in a container and leave them overnight. That's quite important. Whilst your raisins and rum are just sitting there nicely, soaking up all those flavours, you can start to prepare your ice cream base. Now here we're going to take our milk as normal, and here you can see me mixing up my stabiliser with my dextrose. We're going to add that in along with our sugar and slowly start to bring that up to temperature. Now for this recipe, I've added the cream in whilst it's on the hob, and that is purely because this cream was right at the end of its life. So just to be safe, I've heated the whole lot up together. Once it's up to temperature, around 60 to 70 degrees, you're going to add in your skim milk powder and make sure that's fully incorporated into your liquids. Once it's all completely homogenized, you're going to take it off the hob and then put your ice cream base in a container. There, you're just going to let it cool down slightly and then put it in the fridge to completely chill down. Now the following day, you're going to take out your soaked raisins and you're going to strain off any remaining rum that's left in the container. What you're actually going to do is take your ice cream base out the fridge and put that remaining rum in it. You don't want to do it when it's hot, and that's quite important because you want to maintain the alcohol in this rum. You want as much flavour and alcohol goodness as you can. Stir that in nicely. Then what you're going to do is put that in your ice cream machine to churn. Right at the end of your churn, you're gonna add in your raisins. You can add as many or as few as you like. I've gone to town and added quite a few, as you can see. At that stage, take it out your machine, load up your ice cream tubs, and then put them in a freezer to completely harden off. And here we go. It's just come out of the freezer. The alcohol means that it doesn't freeze solid, and a lot of people put vodka in their ice creams to do this. You don't need to do that. Please don't do that. But because this recipe actually has alcohol in it, you need to be careful with how much sugar you put in. So we're just going to get some scooped up and see how this turned out. Scooped really well, looks really good, loads of raisins in there. Let's see what it tastes like. That's so much better than I remember it being. It's kind of a flavour that, actually someone else that makes ice cream for a living released this as a Christmas flavour. Raisins obviously with rum is quite synonymous with this, you know, festive part of the year. These are Cape raisins from South Africa, I think, not Cape Fear raisins. But they're really nice and juicy. I mean, this one's massive. So they add a nice texture change in the ice cream. When you bite into that soft raisin, they're really soft because they're full of sugar, but obviously you've then permeated them with alcohol, so they stay completely soft in your ice cream. So you get this burst of rum, your favourite rum, come out of it. And because you've left the base completely unflavoured, apart from that small amount of rum, it's not an overpowering ice cream either. I think if you flavoured that base with something else, you could maybe add a bit of vanilla to it just to bring some flavours forward, but I quite like that plainer ice cream with the pockets of rum every time you bite into one of those raisins. It's really nice. You could make rum raisin fudge and add that into it if you really wanted to. Much will eat it because it's there. But a classic flavour. Rum raisin doesn't deserve to be put aside like it has done or has been for the last 30 odd years. Haagen Dazs released rum raisin in the US in the 80s. It's now becoming a little bit more popular than it used to be, but is always overtaken by other more modern hipster flavours. So, talk about hipster flavours, I've just made something probably hipster flavoured, but we'll deal with that another day. So, if you like rum raisin ice cream or you really fancy making this classic flavour, let me know in the comments below if this has worked out for you. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can support us on Ko-fi. I'll put the link below as normal. Hope you have a good festive season, and I'll see you all next time.